Today, I want to talk about Serpentious, his crazy backstory, his redemption, and what all of that means for the rest of the characters in Hazbin Hotel. Because at its core, Hazbin Hotel is about sin, redemption, and what it means to earn forgiveness after you've fallen. If you do something bad enough in life, you end up in hell. But that also means every sinner has a story, a reason they deserve to be there. And now, for the first time, we're finally seeing what one of those stories really looks like. Early on, VivziePop teased the idea that we'd learn more about the characters' lives on Earth, their pasts, their mistakes, their heartbreaks. Season 1 built the foundation. But Season 2? That's where the real backstories begin. And what's surprising is who we started with. Not Charlie, not Angel, not Vaggie, but Serpentious. The funny thing, he was never supposed to matter this much. Originally, he was just a throwaway villain in the pilot. No comic history, no big arc. But apparently VivziePop had so much fun with him that he evolved into something deeper. The first sinner to be redeemed. And now, the first to be shown as a human. Episode 2 opens in heaven, a trial of sorts, with Serpentious standing before the speaker of God, unsure of why he's even there. He barely gets a word in until the speaker allows him to tell his story. And that's when we meet Pendleton, the man Serpentious used to be. A lonely inventor, a hermit with a brilliant mind, and a hollow life. We don't know much about his family, but the way he talks, it's clear he grew up isolated, left to raise himself among his inventions. When children are left alone like that, they often form attachments, to toys, to creations, to anything that fills the void of being unloved. And that's exactly what Pendleton did. He poured himself into his machines. His inventions were his friends, and that emotional pattern carried with him, even into hell. Because in hell, Serpentious has his eggy boys, little loyal machines that follow him around, obey his commands, and most importantly, love him back. To him, they're family. He cries when he has to let them go, and when he gets them back, it's pure joy. You can see it all over his face, this desperate need to be liked, to matter to someone. It's the same reason he clings to Charlie's praise in Season 1, saying, "You like me? You really like me?" For Serpentious, that line isn't played for laughs. It's a cry for connection. A man still trying to fill the emptiness he carried since childhood. But then, we learn what sent him to hell. Pendleton used to people watch from his window. At first it was harmless curiosities, but eventually it became something darker. He began watching people in their private moments, and one night, he saw something horrifying. A woman, murdered right outside his home. He could have acted. He could have stopped it, but he didn't. He froze, out of fear. And when he realized who the killer was, one of his wealthy clients, he made a choice. He stayed silent, and he kept working for him. He didn't just protect himself, he profited from that silence. That moment, that act of cowardice and self-preservation, was his true sin. And that's what makes his redemption so powerful. Because when Serpentious sacrificed himself in hell, when he gave his life to save Cherry Bomb and the others, he wasn't just being selfless. He was finally atoning for what he failed to do in life. In heaven, the speaker of God doesn't talk about laws or rules. She talks about choice, about intent. Serpentious didn't earn heaven by being perfect. He earned it by finally facing his greatest mistake. Redemption, in Hazbin Hotel, isn't about a checklist of good deeds. It's about finding peace with the worst parts of yourself. But this revelation raises a much bigger question. If Serpentious had to die again to be redeemed, what about everyone else? Sinners are immortal in hell, unless struck by an angelic weapon. So, maybe true redemption requires not just change, but sacrifice. Maybe the only way out of hell is to die for something greater than yourself. That's a terrifying idea, but it fits the show's world perfectly. Even characters like Carmilla Carmine, who act selflessly and protect their loved ones, still haven't ascended, because redemption alone might not be enough. You have to prove it, even if it costs you your life. Serpentious' story turns him from comic relief into one of the show's most tragic and profound figures. His redemption isn't a gag or a side note. It's the heart of what Hazbin Hotel is all about. Forgiveness, sacrifice, and the courage to face your own sins. If this is the kind of emotional depth VivziePop plans to explore with the other characters, then Season 2 is just getting started. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.